So this is a painting that I did a while ago, probably a couple of years ago. This is a photo that a friend sent me, or probably I've found something on the internet. So I really love the color of the reference picture, and because it's from a sunset, I really, like, in my head it was a challenge to break down the colors with the logic behind it. So for example, the wall that we see in the picture, in the reference, it's just a white wall. Maybe not like a bright white color, but it's a white color. There's no hue in it. But because it's sunset time and the sunlight is so saturated orange, so the shadow where the sunlight doesn't fall, because it's comparative to that orange color, that saturated warm color, it appears cold. It appears a blue or a violet tone, and I really love that. So it was like a challenge for me to really understand what the hue would be of that color, of the color that we see. What's the actual hue? What's the actual value? And these exercises that I do, I did not color pick. When I started painting like 7-8 years ago, 9 years ago now, I used to pick colors to understand. Not to understand, just to pick color. I just used to pick colors to get the picture as close to the original as possible. Excuse me, so the phone just made a very loud sound. So yeah, I picked colors, and I just wanted to make it as close to the reference as possible without really paying much attention to understanding or decoding what's happening. But over the years, as I've learned to paint, learned to see, to observe, understand the fundamentals of how colors work, how values work, I've gotten a little bit better at seeing colors, reading colors. So yeah, as you see, the green of the leaves, that's the local color. So by local color, I mean the color of the leaves as they are. On a cloudy day, it would appear different. On a very bright sunlit afternoon, they would appear different. So in this sunset light, they appear a little reddish, a little brownish in the shadows. So everything, it's the whole scene appears as it is because there's a very specific temperature of light falling on it, which is a warm sunlight from the sunset. So the white roses, they appear pink at some part, orange at some part, yellow at some part. So the translucency comes into play, like the rose that I'm painting right here. How thick the petals are, how the light falls on the petal, and how it passes through the petal, and how it lights up the entire surface. And also there's this thing called subsurface scattering while passing through the petal inside, how the light scatters and gives this new color in it, which is usually a bit saturated, which is usually a bit warm. So the white rose, in the shadow, it appears violet, like this one right in front. It appears grey, it appears a bit muted, the value is a bit dark, but the little patch of sunlight that falls, it's very warm, it's very bright. So while I'm painting, I'm constantly looking at the reference and trying to understand how the colors are appearing as they are appearing, like what's the logic behind it, and trying to assess, trying to guess as closely as possible what color I should paint with. And as it's evident, I'm painting a little bit oversaturated, because in the original reference picture, the shadows are not that saturated, they're very grey. But why just stick to reality as it is when you can paint whatever you want? So the reference here is just an idea that I would use to paint, but I do not really uh, want to paint it exactly as it is, like pixel by pixel reproduction. I used to do it, everyone does it in the beginning, that's how we learn how to paint. But as your taste grows, as your aesthetic develops, as you understand which parts to focus on, which parts to leave out, you understand, like, realism. It's like, for me personally, it's a matter of taste, of course. So for me, realism isn't hyper realism anymore. For me, it's painterly realism. So colors would appear as if they are real from a distance. It would look like a painting, but it wouldn't look unreal. The colors won't be unrealistic, the value structure won't be unrealistic, the shapes won't be unrealistic. But if you look at it, it would appear like a painting. It won't appear like a photograph. I do not want it to be a photograph. So yeah, I focus on the mood and the feel of a painting. I focus on the feel of individual brushwork, individual brush stroke, how it informs the gesture of a painting, if I may. So, you know, these words that artists use, gesture. Ideally, we would like to use it in figure drawings, where there is movement of a figure, the way someone holds the posture, that we can say that's the gesture of the figure. But also in a brushwork, in a shape that you are painting, be it the shape of a shadow, be it the shape of a place where light is falling, shape of an object. There's gesture in that shape as well, and the way you put that gesture on the painting, it informs the overall mood. So if you have very patchy brushworks all over the artwork, it gives a different vibe to the overall painting. Maybe it would look like an impressionist painting, something like a pointillist artwork. But if there's very soft brush everywhere, everything is merging with everything else, then it gives a different kind of vibe. And then you play with this kind of ideas that at certain places you put a lot of brushwork, a lot of little details, make it your focal point of the entire painting. And at other places you keep it very wide and very soft, so the focus doesn't fall there. There's so much to talk about. Just I mean, it won't be possible to use just one painting to talk about every aspect of art that I use, either consciously or subconsciously while trying to paint. But as I try to share these artworks, I'll try to share as much as I can. So yeah, this is about the very end, where I'm just putting on little details everywhere, trying to, you know, make it look a bit more, I won't say realistic, but just adding a lot of visual noise so that it doesn't look empty, because a big part of the artwork is empty, the shadow part. So, and last minute value checking by turning into grayscale. Anyway, this is the end of the artwork. I'll put the finished artwork here so that you can see how it looked at the end. I'll just try to share more such time-lapse videos of my painting process. I have a lot of these lying in my computer which I haven't posted anywhere, and yeah, I'll try to do more sketches like these from now on. Maybe start a daily sketch challenge or something, and I'll share the time-lapse videos here. So if you like the videos that I'm putting here, please give a like, and please share your comments, what you like in it, what you don't like in it, what do you think I should do next, what kind of videos would you like to see, and your art experiences, if any, that you would like to share. And please subscribe. I would really like to make this channel a place where I can share everything about my art journey, and hope you get to connect with me, and I get to answer your questions. I get to inspire you in some way by sharing about a lot of artists that I know, a lot of art books that I read, and just talking about art and just geeking over art in general. So stay tuned. See you next time in the next video.